By special request, I'm going to take you through a Pilates circle workout today. So we're going to start on all fours. So with your Pilates circle, you need to wedge it behind your leg, so wedge it between your ankle bone and the back of your thigh, and then come down onto your hands and knees. We're going to start some activations through the back of the leg. So as you breathe out, you're going to squeeze your heel in towards your bottom, working those muscles down the back of your leg, and then release. It's really important that you have your best spinal posture here as soon as you start. So your tail kicked out, your neck long. You're looking to find those curves down your back. You want to hang your head down, you want that to be long, and you want to lift your breastbone up away from the floor. As we go here, we're going to breathe out, squeeze the heels to the bum, and then zip up the tummy at the same time. Breathe in, release. So you breathe out, squeeze the heel, pull the tummy button up and in, and release. Imagine as though you're zipping up a high-waisted pair of jeans as you squeeze that heel in towards your bottom. Keeping even weight underneath your two hands and your two knees to begin with. And then we're going to hold the next one. You're going to squeeze your heel in towards your bottom. Keep that squeeze on the circle, and then you're going to lift from your hip, take that leg to the ceiling, and then lower all the way back down. Keep that squeeze, keep that hinge on the right hip. So straight away, you're working down that entire hamstring group, in the back of your thigh, in your calf, in your bottom, in your back, in your tummy, and also in your upper body to hold you here. Keep squeezing that heel in towards your bottom. Resist the urge to arch your back by pulling up and in through the tummy. 3, 2, we're going to take it all the way up here, and then you can do a little hamstring curl, like a bicep curl, but with your legs. Squeeze your heel to your bottom, release. Squeeze in, release. Squeeze, release. You're looking for your maximal squeeze, so you might get much further in than me. You might not be moving very far, but we're trying to work that hamstring to its maximum in this position. Feeling all of the tummy muscles come on at the same time. We're building up to a hold here. In 3, 2, hold it here, squeeze that hamstring, lift the leg up so the thigh is parallel with the body, and reach the opposite arm away. Make sure your shoulders are square, your pelvis is square. Squeeze your heel in towards your bottom, look straight down. Squeeze the circle, hold and breathe. 5, 3, 2, 1, release down. Circle now is going to go in between your thighs. So it's going to push your legs apart, and then you need to work on the circle to bring your legs back into parallel. We're going to hold the squeeze on the circle here, lift the breastbone up, zip up through the whole tummy, and without rocking, changing shape, one arm is going to march forwards and then down. You want to be dead steady as you change sides. Opposite arm lifts up and down. Keep that tail out, keep your ribs flush with your body. The squeeze on the circle is keeping it here, keeping the inner thigh and the lower tummy connected. Try not to rock or sway, and just work on how steady you can be between those transitions. Once more each side. And last one. And release. Circle now is going to go behind the opposite thigh. I'm just going to turn around so you can see me. So we squeeze it between our heel. So it's on my Achilles there, that tendon at the back of your ankle, and my bottom. So just where your bottom meets your thigh. Lift your breastbone, long, long neck, look straight down, tailbone out. Breathe out, squeeze your heel to your bottom, breathe in, release. Breathe out, squeeze your heel to your bottom, breathe in, release. Try not to shift your weight as you go. There should be no change in shape in the rest of your body. Just changing that angle on your left knee as you squeeze in and release down. Feeling the tummy pull up and in to help you with that added load. Two more, and then we start to move from the hip. Hold the next then seamlessly see if you can float that leg up towards the ceiling without rocking, shifting, changing shape, and then float all the way back down. Extend through the hip on your out breath. In breath, return. Keeping the pelvis and the shoulders square, neck long. So you're moving your leg the whole time, not letting your back change shape. So it's not about how high, how far you can lift that leg, it's how still the rest of your body can be. Use your out breath to pick up, squeezing that heel to the bottom. In breath to return. 3. And we're going to hold it at the top here. Leg lifted, neck long, look straight down. Squeeze your heel to your bottom and release. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Try not to dip, change shape, drop off that tension. Keep going through here. I wonder if you can tighten up through the tummy as you squeeze that heel. 4, 3, 2, hold it here, squeeze your heel to your bottom, lengthen through the opposite arm, pause and hold. Keep squeezing that circle, hold, reach for your fingertips, lift your breastbone a little bit more. Breathe, 5, 2, 1, and release. Last one on your all fours now. The circle's going to go back in between your knees. And you're going to give that circle a really big squeeze so your legs come into parallel. On this one, you're going to tuck your toes. Give me a few pelvic tilts, a few ripples through your spine to find your best spinal posture. So that's not completely flat, but that's with nice curves at your neck, your upper back, your lower back, and your tail kicked out. On the next out breath, wriggle your legs a little bit closer together. Close through the pelvic outlet as though there's an elevator moving up and in through the middle of your body. And then lift and hover your knees up off of the floor, keeping the squeeze on that circle. Breathe in, release down. Breathe out, squeeze the circle, float up. Breathe in, release down. Breathe out, squeeze the circle and float. Keep that going. Using your out breath to give you that timing. Making sure as you float up, the tummy pulls in, it doesn't dome outwards. Now if that's enough to lift and lower, keep doing that. Otherwise follow me into the next progression. We're going to lift and hover, we're going to hold it, and we're going to pulse those circle squeezes, using the inner thigh to close the tummy, to create that tension around the belly button. To go close through the pelvic outlet and pelvic floor. 5, use your out breath. 2, 1, and release, let it go. Now you're going to swing yourself up into high kneeling with your heels together and your knees open. From here, you're going to take the circle into your hands. Squeeze the circle and you're pushing your 2 hands together. As you do this, you want to imagine underneath your body, pulling your 2 pelvis bones together underneath you. So your pelvis bones, your pelvic floor is matching what you're doing with the circle. Then as you breathe out, your arms are going to come up. You're going to lift your pelvic floor, give yourself a halo with that circle. Breathe in, slowly release everything, let it all go. Circle squeeze, breathe out. Close and lift through pelvic floor, arms come up. Release it all the way down, let it go. So as you do this, you're just making sure that your spine doesn't change shape. You don't want your ribs to flare forwards. Keep your heels pressed. If we look at you from side on, we shouldn't see any movement in the rest of your body, just at your shoulders. 3 more. Again, trying to slow that out breath to lift, in breath to lower. Last one. And release. Sit your bottom back down on your heels, bring the circle into your chest. On your out breath this time, you're going to press through the circle, push through your hips and reach the circle in front of you. And then release it back down. So working on your upper body strength, on that back and tummy strength, as well as the bottom and inner thigh. Keep your heels pushed together as though you've got another circle there. Keep the squeeze on that circle as we go. If you can, gather on and lift through that pelvic floor as you breathe out and you push up into kneeling. 3 more. Last one. And release. Okay, so now we're going to take it onto our first side. So I'm going to lie on my right side first. I'm going to have the circle back in between my legs. And we're going to start with the feet together, the knees open. You can use your arm underneath your head to support a straight line through your neck. You don't want your neck to drop down towards the mat. And then you want your 2 pelvis bones to be stacked on top of one another with your waist lifted. First out breath, pull the tummy in and try and close that top knee. You're just going to keep breathing out. Try and get that leg as close towards the bottom leg as you can go. And then long, slow in-breath. Open that up. Breathe out. Close it all the way down. Breathe in. Open it all the way up. So you're working inside, outside thigh, controlling the closure, not only through the tummy, but through the pelvis and through the pelvic floor. And then you're easing that open. Again, set your best posture. So there's this nice straight line connecting your ear, shoulder, hip and heel. And keep still throughout. The only thing that's changing is the angle at your hip. 2 more. Last one. And release. Now those legs are going to come back behind you. You're going to pop up onto your elbow. This time we're going to squeeze the circle as close as we can to work through the inner thigh. Then press up into a little side plank. And then you're going to drop your hip down and release your circle. So you're going to squeeze, lift up, lower down, release. Keep that going. So you're going to squeeze, then lift, then lower, then release. We'll stay up in a minute, but work through range for me for now. Each part, if you can, has an out breath. Breathe out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. One more time, holding it up this time, keeping that lift through your waist and open and close that circle. So you've still got this reverse climb on this side, open and close. Open and close. 5, 3, 2, 1, and release. Drop it all the way down. Okay, so now both legs are going to step into the circle and you're going to use those soft foamy bits to support the outside of the legs so it's not too rough on the legs. And then the first thing, we bring ourselves into a clown position. So for about 30 degrees at the hips, 90 degrees at the knees, support your head and set up your posture. And now every out breath, I'm going to press my top leg up into the band, up into the circle, like I'm pushing the circle away. So again, every out breath, that subtle movement, that static contraction up into the circle. Breathe out, close in the back of my pelvis, just getting that automatic fire through the tummy. So you should feel both hips work so the legs don't go anywhere. Just moving ever so slightly apart as you press into that circle. 2, 1, level 2. Both feet are going to lift up off the floor. I've still got the padding underneath my bottom knee. And again, release the pressure on the circle and then I'm going to squeeze, press it open. Release, squeeze, press it open. So you should feel these muscles deep into your top bottom and the bottom working as well. Trying to keep that bottom waist lifted so you've got your best spinal posture even when your legs are working. 3, 2, last one. And then you're going to pop up onto your forearm, bring your feet down, press both knees into that circle, and you're going to press up into your side plank. Again, knees, hips, shoulder and ear in one straight line. We're just going to hold it here and pulse into the circle, work both glutes. This is all about strength, this series. Press open into that circle and pulse. Just hold it if the pulsing's too much. Maybe even reach that top arm up and away. Let's go, another 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release all the way down. Okay, so now the circle's going to go between the knees, and we're going to be lying on our back. First thing, feet together, knees apart. We're going to squeeze the circle all the way in if you can. Get your two sides to touch. Press through your hips and lift your bottom up off the floor. Lower down, open your circle. Breathe out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. So we often think about the magic circle, the Pilates circle, being quite inner thigh heavy, but we can use its resistance to work inside, outside, front and back of thigh. And it actually just helps us get into the whole abdominal cylinder. Four more. Keep that circle closed if you can. I can feel mine wanting to open up now. Last one. And release. Okay, now we're going to lie on the other side and we're going to do our adductor work here. So the circle goes between the inner thigh. We come into that clam position with the feet together, the head supported on the bottom arm, and then roll your top leg forwards as much as you can so your pelvis is stacked. Breathe out, drive that top knee down in towards the bottom leg. Try to close your circle if you can. Breathe in and open. And imagine I'm watching you from your pelvis up, and I shouldn't be able to tell you're moving at all. Keep balanced on that bottom hip, long through your neck. Use your out breath, slow it down, close, wrap those tummy muscles, breathe in, open. Breathe out, close, breathe in, open. Keep that going. Two more. And then let's lift our feet up off the floor from this position. Let's try that again. So we're going to drive that top leg all the way down. We're going to slowly open it all the way up. Breathe out, working through your range, all the way down, all the way up. Try not to let your waist drop down into the mat, keeping your ribs flush and your two pelvis bones stacked on top of one another. Three more. Last one. And now you're going to prop up onto your bottom arm. And from here, we're going to lift up through our legs, squeeze the circle, release, lower it down. Let's lift up, squeeze the circle, release and lower. Lift through that bottom hip, squeeze the circle, close, open, release. So we're working both sides. Three more before we hold. Last one. Hold it here and just open and close the circle. So you're working that inner thigh. Try not to bounce or sway. Build that strength. Maybe even reach your top arm over. 3, 2, 1. And release down. Pop both legs through the middle of the circle. So the outside thigh is on the foamy bits. You've got about a 30-degree bend in your hips, 90 degrees at your knees. Neck is supported on your arm and your ribs are flush. Heels together, wrap that top knee open like you're screwing your thigh bone into the socket and then back that off. Press that top knee into the socket, keep the waist lifted, try not to roll back, release. Push open, relax it down, press open, release. Just getting that static contraction, try and press your heels together at the same time. 2 more. Last one, press open and release. Now both feet are going to come up off of the ground. Make sure that the padding is still underneath the thigh, and you're going to drive that top leg into the circle, release. Press all the way up, release it down. Squish those heels together, drive the leg into the circle, release. Totally fine to feel your bottom shaking when we get to this bit. Resistance all the way through. And again. And then we're going to lift up into a little side plank. So keep that resistance out into the circle, and then let's lift up into our plank and then all the way down. Driving through those hips, reaching up and over and adding down and lying down. Making sure there's that straight line through your whole body once you're lifted up. Press into that circle. Out breath to lift. In breath to lower. 3 more before we hold. We're going to hold it at the top now, pushing both legs into that circle, maybe even adding some pulses here to increase that intensity. Zipping out through the tummy, trying not to wobble, shake or move. Pulse, 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 pulse. 10. 3, 2, 1 and release. Last little working set now, we're going to take this onto our backs. Circle between the knees, feet together. And as we breathe out, we're going to squeeze the circle, try and close through our tummy. Hold it here, breathe in. Breathe out, lift our head and shoulders to the floor so everything is closing down through the front of our tummy. Lower down, release. So we're going to close, shut everything down, increase the intensity. Lower, release. Keeping that lower back in neutral. Just moving the upper body. Working the tummy muscles all the way down from the pelvis up to the rib cage, the whole front wall. 3 more, then we hold. Extra points if you can get your circle closed. 1 more. And then you're going to close the circle, curl up and hold it here. Hold, hold, hold. Maybe release and pulse the circle. Keep that intensity through the tummy. Hold and pulse, 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 pulse. Hold the squeeze, pulse the body. Up towards the sky and down, up and down. Keeping that circle squeezed. Sides touching if you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and release. Well done everyone. Circle's also a really good way to give you a stretch at the end. So you can put one leg into your circle, rest the other leg down on the mat, and you're just going to stretch and ease that leg in towards you to get into the back of the hamstring. So with one piece of equipment, you can give yourself quite a good resistance-based workout and a nice stretch. You can turn your leg out to the side to get more down the inside hamstring. Maybe even bring that leg across your body, come down the outside of the leg. And then my favourite one, getting deep into that high hamstring. We're going to ease the leg in towards us, keep the leg on the chest, and then use the circle to try and get your leg straight from there. And it comes right up into the hamstring here. And then let's do that through on the other side. So leg into the circle, push and pull at the same time to try and get that leg as straight as possible. The other leg should be down so your back stays in neutral, and hold it here. Maybe take the leg across the body, gets quite nervy down the back of the leg, down the outside of the leg. And then you can bring that leg out to the side. And then ease your leg all the way into your chest and try and kick it out straight from the lower leg. Hold it here. And then the last one from here, you're going to take yourself into sitting, circle above your head, and then you're just going to fold forwards. The circle's just going to help you to reach. You're aiming to get that circle on the other side of your feet. Try and reach over. Squeeze the circle, bring your body all the way back up, straighten your spine, and again, blow all of that air out. Try and lengthen, reach that circle, try and touch on the other side of your feet. Breathe in, hold. Breathe out, lengthen through your body, come all the way up. And one more time, grow tall, reach, try and get that circle past your feet. Breathe in, breathe out, all the way up. And that's our magic circle, Pilates circle workout.